Riding Mountain became Manitoba's first national park in 1933. Here, not far from the North Dakota border, grasslands converge with deciduous and boreal forests, and wetlands and lakes dot the landscape of the Manitoba Escarpment, standing in stark contrast with the surrounding prairies some 1,500 feet lower in elevation. Come along with Grand Adventure to visit Riding Mountain National Park of Canada. This episode of Grand Adventure is sponsored by Etrailer.com, where you'll find thousands of products for RVing, towing, camping, outdoor recreation, vehicles, boating, and more. Click the link in the video description or scan the code on your screen to shop Etrailer.com with Grand Adventure. Riding Mountain is a unique island of forest rising up from the flat Manitoba prairies, one of the last things one might expect in this part of Canada. It was an essential hunting and gathering ground for local indigenous people for thousands of years. Because it sits so much higher than the surrounding plains, it was a natural landmark and a source of timber and clean water. With 3 different ecosystems here, spanning more than 1,100 square miles, it's a true haven for wildlife like elk, moose, and even a captive bison herd. While here, we've had 6 separate black bear sightings, including this big fella just ambling down the road. We've also seen wild turkeys, deer, loons, and countless rabbits. During the Great Depression in the 1930s, the park became a major site for relief work projects. Hundreds of men lived in camps here, building the stone gates, the original park buildings, and the roads that we drive on today. During World War II, the area even hosted a labor camp near Whitewater Lake for German prisoners of war who worked in the forests. Locals still talk about the friendly relationship between the prisoners and the townspeople, and legend has it, some prisoners would actually sneak out of the camp at night to attend dances and Wasagaming, and then sneak back in before morning roll call, without the guards even knowing, like a reverse Hogan's Heroes. Often referred to simply as Clear Lake by locals and frequent visitors, Wasagaming is the main town site within Riding Mountain National Park, located just within the park's south gate. It lies on the south shore of Clear Lake, the largest of the countless lakes in the park. Unlike national parks in the U.S., there are many restaurants, hotels, and other businesses and services located here within the park. There are also nearly 800 private summer residences, hosting cottagers in season. Many of the major landmarks were built in the 1930s using local logs and stone, giving the town a timeless organic look. When in town, be sure to stop at the White House Bakery. While everything inside looks delicious, they're known for their cinnamon buns, and I can verify it's with good reason. Pan-fried local Manitoba pickerel. I was excited by the pickerel, but if I'm going to be honest, that meal was just meh. But the Italian restaurant in town is just wonderful, and the dining room is positively cozy in that parkitecture sort of way. Clear Lake may be the largest body of water within the national park, but it's hardly the only one. This broad forested plateau is teeming with lakes, small ponds, and marshes. Many of these are accessible along Manitoba Route 10, which traverses the park from north to south. Along Manitoba Route 19, a gravel road that extends eastward from Clear Lake to the park's historic East Gate, or the many small gravel side roads that lead deep into the forest. 16 miles down one such gravel side road is beautiful Lake Audy, home to its own first-come, first-served campground, with 28 sites right along the lakeshore for RVs or tents and 3 equestrian campsites. Perfect for fishing, canoeing, biking, hiking, and horseback riding right from camp. Adjacent to Lake Audy, the park maintains a captive herd of plains bison. Once again, I seem to have a hard time locating the herd, but I can tell that they've been here. Found them! We'll share the other camping options at Riding Mountain, including our campsite, bring you biking and hiking, and much more right after we pause for a brief important message from our valued video sponsor, Etrailer. Whether you need products for your RV, boat, trailer, vehicle, hunting and fishing, off-roading, and more, our video sponsor, Etrailer, has you covered. Best of all, you'll find over 100 US-based enthusiast customer service reps ready to help via phone, chat, or email, both before and after the sale. These folks have used themselves the products that you're shopping for, and you won't find a more knowledgeable team anywhere to help you with your outdoor project. Click the link in the video description or scan the code on your screen to shop etrailer.com with Grand Adventure. We're set up for the week in Wasagaming Campground, the largest campground within the park with a whopping 446 sites, only a short walk or bike ride from the town site. Our full hookup site here costs $47.50 Canadian per night, or less than $35 US at today's exchange rate. Other options, including water and electric only, and dry campsites are all available here. Many of the sites are less than level, but that's usually fore and aft, which presents much less of an issue than side to side. Like U.S. national parks, you also have to pay admission to enter the national park, in addition to your camping fees. From June 19th through September 7th this year, Parks Canada is offering free admission and a 25% discount on fees for camping and overnight stays at all national parks. but we're here only a week or two prior to that free period. Daily admission costs $10 Canadian, or you can purchase an annual pass, or the annual Discovery Pass good at all national parks of Canada. We're here for 6 days, so it made the most sense to purchase the $48.25 Canadian Riding Mountain Annual Pass, which got our entry cost down to less than $6 US per day. I should take a moment to mention how far Starlink has come in recent years. Only a year or two ago, the tree obstruction surrounding our campsite here would have caused fits for Starlink. But with so many additional Starlink satellites now in orbit, these trees have proven to be a true non-issue for our roof-mounted satellite dish in 2026. In addition to numerous commercial RV parks outside the national park boundary, there are 5 other campgrounds within Riding Mountain National Park. Among those is the previously mentioned Lake Audy Campground and another dry first-come first-served campground at Moon Lake with another 24 campsites. However, most of the sites here are too tight for all but the smallest RVs. Riding Mountain National Park is located in a relatively remote area of southwestern Manitoba. There's a small store in Wasagaming for essentials, but those campers in search of the area's only true grocery store, albeit a small one, will have to drive 13 miles south to the small unincorporated town of Erickson. Here, there's a co-op grocery store and hardware available for restocking your rig. It's been an unusual late spring on the Canadian prairie this year. A sharp northward bend in the jet stream has brought the severe weather usually reserved for the central and southern plains north across the border. Our reservation at Riding Mountain was originally for a full week of camping, but a severe weather outbreak along the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border prompted us to stay put in Saskatchewan for an extra day before embarking upon our 4-hour drive to Wasagaming. We did leave the trailer for one particularly nasty looking cell with large hail visible on radar, but all turned out well, which would not have been the case had we headed east. But on our second day at Riding Mountain, an identical severe weather outbreak blossomed, with predictions of tornadoes of EF2 or greater, straight line winds as strong as 80 to 90 miles per hour, and hail as large as tennis balls. Our only potential nearby shelter was this brick shower house. We monitored storm reports closely all day, and when one particular supercell headed straight for Wasagaming appeared menacing on radar, we loaded up the truck and again headed east to get out of its path. Sure enough, our concerns were confirmed when a pair of tornado warnings popped up on our phones. Well, that was exciting. They say never to try to outrun a tornado in your vehicle. But I saw this coming well in advance, and I knew I had time to get east. We're now sitting at the eastern boundary of the national park at the historic East Gate. You can see where we're sitting here. We just came down the escarpment, 1,500 feet below. And I'm going to wait till this cell passes. There are more cells to the southeast of where I'm sitting right now. So after this cell passes camp, we'll turn around and head back behind the cell that hit camp. Hope there's no damage, hope that nothing happened. and see what else this night brings. It soon became apparent, however, that with the way these supercells were consolidating to our south, we'd have no way to avoid them in the truck. So once the tornado-warned cell passed by to our northwest, we headed back to the trailer to ride out the remaining storms. Even in 8 years living in Florida, I've never encountered rainfall like this. Fortunately, neither truck nor trailer were visited by a tornado or pummeled by large hail. All is well that ends well. Now that the weather has calmed down, if not actually clearing, it's time for a little outdoor recreation. There are numerous hiking and biking options available at Riding Mountain, from casual family-friendly loops, like here at the Boreal Trail, to strenuous backpacking trails stretching into the park's extensive backcountry. All told, the park is home to over 250 miles of trails. It's a quick shot on the Fat Tire e-bike from our campsite through the Wasagaming town site and onto the South Shore Trail, following the shoreline of Clear Lake. Out here, on this narrow spit of land about 1.5 miles west of town, the park has placed some of their iconic red chairs. But it's time for me to boogie back to camp before the sky opens up again. With so many beautiful lakes available in the park, grand adventurers probably expected to see us kayaking in this episode. So did we, and we tried, but have once again been thwarted in our attempts to paddle a National Park of Canada. We showed up for a mandatory invasive species boat inspection on the day we arrived, only to be refused a permit because our kayak had been in the water in Jasper National Park and the Pacific Northwest states in 2025, even though the boat was kept in dry storage all winter and was both dry as a bone and immaculate. I had contemplated instead paddling here at Ditch Lake, just south of the park boundary, and therefore not subject to the park's draconian permit restrictions. But every afternoon this week that my schedule has permitted it has been windy with passing thunder showers, so I was forced to abandon that idea too. However, we can still get out on the park's extensive trail network for a bit of hiking. We finally caught a break in the gloomy weather on Saturday afternoon, so we'll take advantage of that by hiking the Brûlé trail. This is a short figure-8 loop, close to 3 miles in length, especially if you explore around a little, that begins a few miles east of Wasagaming and wanders through the gently undulating woods to Kennesaw Lake. We've chosen the Brûlé because it's known to stay a little drier than most other options within the park. This may be one of the drier trails in the area, but following this week's persistent rain, that doesn't mean completely dry. There's been a bear here, and not that long ago either. plenty of tree roots out here too. Near the midway point, you'll have a choice, the short loop or the long loop. Should you choose the short loop, however, you'll have a pleasant walk in the woods, but you'll miss what, in my opinion at least, is the highlight of this hike. And that's Kennesaw Lake. The name of Kennesaw Lake was derived from the Cree word for fish. It is known as a good spot for catching northern pike. It's hard to believe that on a Saturday afternoon in mid-June, in a popular national park, I'm the only person here. We thank you for coming along with us to visit Riding Mountain National Park. If you enjoyed this episode, it is extremely important to us that you give us a huge thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, that's where you're going to find the comment section, which is where we'd love to hear from you each and every week. We're going to get packed up and hitched up here and continue our eastward journey to Birds Hill Provincial Park, only 15 miles outside of the city of Winnipeg. However, we're going to be bringing that episode to you in 2 weeks, because next week we're going to bring you the July RV News Roundup from all across the country. So if you're not yet a grand adventurer yourself, there is no better time than right now for you to go smash that little subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a grand adventure, which we premiere right here every Wednesday evening. We'd also be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. So until next Wednesday, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.